Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about something that I deal with from time to time, and I'm definitely dealing with right now.
Writer's block.
Writer's block is a thing. I definitely have it. I think I'm really susceptible. I'm sure a lot of people are like this, where I feel like I'm really phases of being able to write and things happening, and then I get stuck in little ruts where just nothing will come out no matter what. And I guess that kind of my advice on that and what has worked for me over time is to try and keep going, and even if it is kind of horrible, to continue to still try and write some stuff. So I thought maybe I could show I've been trying to do that lately. So I've been wanting to write for the last week or so, and I've had some ideas, but it's me trying to force it out, and I'll show you what those are. But it's very interesting. For me, a lot of the times my lyrics will kind of just be almost a word vomit sort of a situation, and so if I do have a block, it's very, very difficult. I think a lot of the times I'll find that I struggle to either figure out what I want to talk about or how I'm going to talk about it. So there's things where I know what I want to talk about. So say for example, I want to talk about depression. Let's say I want to talk about depression, and approaching that in a way in my brain I could almost picture like a movie, or audibly explaining what I wanted to talk about or experiencing, but not in a way that makes sense in a song situation or something like that. Or I just can't think of anything to actually talk about, but I really want to create something. And so I think that those are kind of two situations that I find myself in the most, is either not having subject matter or not knowing what to do with the subject matter. Now, there's two different ways that I like to approach these. So if I don't have subject matter, I still think it's good to try and come up with something instrumentally, something melodically, right? So that way you can still hopefully kind of get those gears going. And I feel like a lot of the times when I do start to do something, it can help me maybe tomorrow, maybe not in that day, but maybe the next day I'll be a little bit more ready, and my mind kind of wakes up and is ready to go. And the same, I think, goes the other way around, where if I have the subject matter, and I usually don't so much these days like to write my lyrics out of order, if that makes sense. So a lot of the times I like to try and write to a song that I'm writing at the same time, instead of writing lyrics and going from there. I think when I'm having writer's block, when I'm having trouble finding a way to put those thoughts into order, it can be helpful to just get them down and get them out, and then sometimes you can go from there, and sometimes it'll make sense. Of course, this is all hoping that instrumental-wise things work out for you. I think also, though, if you're in a situation where you have something you want to talk about, you have lyrics, but you can't come up with something to actually perform, so it's an actual song, the song side of things is now not working. Something you can honestly do is come up with just a super simple generic 4-chord sort of sequence, and if it's in a key you there's notes that I do always recommend knowing kind of what notes you feel comfortable singing if you are a singer. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say that you don't actually know what to do. You can do a really simple progression. 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3, 4, 5. Right? There's a whole bunch of different options and stuff like that. And if you don't know chord progressions, honestly, people might low-key think this is a hot take, but chord progressions are not copyrights. So if there's a simple song that you know how to play, and you can't think of anything in that moment, play that song and do that. For example, let's say I've got a song, and I'll use those same chords. See? Say that I'm playing a song, maybe Heather, right? And it's C, A minor, it's not that, I'm pretty sure there's another chords, but you get the point, right? So for example, if you use those chords like that, then you have some lyrics, you can literally use it almost as a placeholder, at least to start to get some ideas. And then if you don't want it to sound too similar to that song, you can always change the key. Just to be honest, there are so many songs that are the exact same chords, it's going to be okay. Hello, Editor Bubby here. I'm in bed. That's right, editing this video, because that's what I do. Anyways, pretty much right after I recorded this, Taylor Swift dropped an album where a lot of people are saying, hey, by the way, these songs all sound like other songs that people have made, which is true. And kind of proves my point here. I'm not saying to directly take the chords of a song and use them, but I'm saying that in the meantime, if you're struggling to find something to do, you can use it as a template, and then hopefully change it later, unless you want to be like Taylor Swift. I think as long as you have have it be a song that's not similar subject matter, because definitely I think that can sort of get, but I think it's a good idea just to kind of break up that ice and get yourself thinking of things again. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of the things that I've been working on while I've been trying to deal with this kind of onset of in an attempt to get rid of it. Let's do that. We start right here. Got a little something I was just working on a little bit ago. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it at all, or if I'm going to do anything with it. And I had a couple of things that I was looking at. So my original idea, actually, I really had this kind of little thing going on in the guitar, which I don't think I ended up using. Again, this is a very large part of what I mean, where you can have these ideas. Like I had, that was the original idea I had, and I'm not even using the same progression, I'm not using the same instrument for kind of what I thought of later and that sort of a thing, but it at least got the ideas kind of flowing a little bit more, just to throw something out there. Aside from that, I kind of wanted to have like a riff, so I came up with this. Which is also what the drums are for, by the way. I really don't think that all of these will work together, but you never know. I think that's something you have to be prepared for as well, because sometimes when you are having writer's block, even if you do things like this, maybe it's not going to be the greatest, right? But even if whatever you make in that moment isn't the best, I think it is still helpful. Practice is always practice too. So if you're raising your floor and the worst song you make is here, and then you do another one, and now it's here, that's always a good thing. Anyways, that's what I did today, and I can also do some acoustic things. Maybe I remember I can show you them. Sad little boy with a rope and a hole, his words and his breath. Nobody would listen, nobody would know. He sat down in the kitchen, but he was all alone. Even when I was so flat, he's left on his back, two ends in his fingers, and I would linger inside. Out of his tides, not a word or two, a word from me, a word from you, but it's too late. The sky is dark and there not what I did earlier. See, this is why I record everything too. These are the words that I wrote, and those are the chords that I played. But I definitely played it in a completely different rhythm, and I sang a completely different melody. Sad little boy with a rope and a hole, funny words or his breath. Could show, nobody would listen, nobody would know. And I don't remember things like that. I forget them until I've done them a bunch of times. I don't know, but you get my point. I don't really like that. I don't like how that sounds too much, but I kind of liked these lyrics. And so I wanted to at least try something with them, and at least I have them. Again, I don't know if anything's gonna happen with these. I don't know if any of that music is gonna make it in there, but at least I did something, and I think that it kind of helped. I was able to do this after I did the other track, actually, that we showed before this one. And I was having a lot of difficulty coming up with words to use. That did help me. Making a musical track with no words at all kind of helped me make a completely different thing with a little bit of words this time. Definitely do give that a try. This is the other idea I came up with around like 3 a.m. last night, and I don't really know I have no idea what I would do with this in like a full song context, to be honest at all, but there are things about this that I like, and I think that it's important to try and find different things that you do like about songs. I liked the piano on the first one, right? Like I thought this was a cool idea. I had this, I had it with like a synth as well. Very simple, but I liked how that sounded. I thought it was nice and immersive, if that makes sense. Don't know if I'm gonna use it, but I like that about it. The other song, I have less to like about it, but I liked that I was not writing from first person. A lot of the times I like to write from first person. It's just kind of where I go naturally, and so I liked that I was doing something that wasn't that way. My eyes are I can feel every inch of my skin. Hair falls onto my shoulder and I flinch. Time is divided, my mind multiplies. All the senses inside of my soul are with shatter, and am I too light? I'm still undecided. I don't think that anything should ever change, but it will anyways. It will anyways. It's hard to know how to begin. I'm often surprised by the looks that you give. My hands are clasped but too thin. My bed is cold and empty. Is divided, my mind multiplies. All the senses inside of my soul are with shattering. Am I too light? I'm still undecided. Don't think that anything should ever change, but it will anyways. It will anyways. I like that one though. That was like more of a complete thought, but that came after like literally hours of not being able to sleep and not being able to write. I was trying to think of things like all day. This was like the first time I actually was able to do something. I like that. That was a nice idea. I don't know how to expand on that, you know? I like that song. I like that song. Maybe that song is fine the way it is, who knows? I always in my brain am trying to think of how to add more instrumentation and make it like a full band sort of a deal. And I feel like I stepped away from that in a lot of the ways because I stopped thinking about that first. When I used to write music, I used to write specifically with a full production in mind, if that makes sense. And nowadays I'm not, if that makes sense. I'm not really thinking, things kind of just happen. And a lot of the times it's just me and a guitar or something like that, and that's what I'm using. And so maybe something will work in that context, but I feel like it can be difficult to translate it over to the rest of what I'm doing. Anyways, these are just a couple of ideas that I had over the last little bit. I don't think that they're my best work. I don't think they're anything I'm the most proudest of or anything like that. But I think it's still good to do things like this in order to try and not get stuck in that rut, at least as much as possible. It's always going to happen. It always does to me. I'm sure it always will to you, you know. Hopefully it doesn't too much. But honestly, making this video a little bit for myself as well, because sometimes I need to hear that. I think too, I definitely can get pretty critical and pretty down on myself when I'm having difficulty writing, and a lot of the times I feel like that makes it harder, you know. So I think just trying to do something is definitely always better than not doing anything. If it is a day where you don't do anything, that's okay too. Sometimes you need those, you know. If you guys have any other tips, I definitely want to know. If there's anything that you found that works for you, I'd love to hear it. If you found any of this helpful, let me know. If you like any of these ideas, let me know that too. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time of the hours it is. Alright, bye.